What's going on, everyone? My name's Mark, and this is Mako Reselling. Now, right now, currently in Las Vegas, the 2025 eBay Open is going on right now. It is a conference. A ticket will run you about $300 in person, or you can just attend it through the live stream, which I believe is free. But anyhow, already we're starting to see one big message from this conference. It's around artificial intelligence or AI. And in this video, I'm going to quickly break down why this is such a mistake by eBay, why they're also ignoring the 800-pound gorilla in the room, and one positive from this conference that we've heard. Now, let's start with the positive here because it's quick, it's easy. eBay is now going to integrate a cost of goods into the listing procedure. So this is great. I think this should have been done a long time ago. There's really no excuse why they didn't have this in there. I don't know exactly when it's coming up, but I imagine they should get it in pretty quickly since they did announce it in this conference. That will allow us to see profit from our items as well, much easier. Okay, another thing that they should do as well is they should have an original listing date in the listing as well. That's just my personal opinion. But let's move on to the artificial intelligence, why this is never going to work, or at least for a long, long time. AI is one thing that everyone's trying to do right now. It's the big buzzword. I work in banking. It's being pushed out. And I work as a data analyst, I work in modeling, so I am qualified to speak on this. I can tell you there's two reasons why this is not going to work for eBay. Some things will work, like the image specification. The first is going to be just the data quality that you're going to see. And you do see this already. Anytime you do a listing, you put something up, and you know that this item is supposed to sell for $30, $35, eBay gives you a suggested price of $15 to $20. So they're not even at the point where they've got that fixed yet. And again, a lot of this has to do with data quality. It also has to do with overfitting. The models are overfitting the way that the algorithms are written. And this means simply that the algorithms are good at specialized regression analysis. So they're going to be able to fit certain situations, but they're not going to be able to extend when there's dynamic data at play where there's other situations. And we see that a lot. The models are not smart enough to do this yet. And one of the reasons for this is that there's just not simply enough data with a lot of these listings. I mean, if I've got like a Peter Millar white shirt or a Brooks Brothers white shirt, it's probably going to be a much better accurate suggested price than if I list out like a 1990 jersey from a specific team, a specific player. The algorithm's just not going to be able to give you good suggested price because it's going to be comparing against maybe another team from like the 90s or another player on that team who's not as popular. Now, I think the bigger issue from this conference, rather than this push for artificial intelligence that eBay is doing because they want to stay relevant, and the fact is that they don't want to get left in the dust. They don't want to be Blockbuster. It makes sense. But I think the bigger issue is they are not addressing the seller concerns, protecting the seller. And this is a big issue. People have been walking away from eBay because eBay has not been backing their sellers. Now, there was no mention of anything I've seen so far about what they plan to do, how they plan to address a lot of these things. There seems to be this mentality that, well, if someone comes in, if someone sells a bunch of stuff for us and they get, screwed a few times and they decide, I'm going to go sell on Poshmark or Depop or something, it's no big deal. Someone will just step in and take their place. But this is a big deal. eBay's business plan here is terrible in my estimation. I mean, I do think they should invest some in AI, but they really need to come out and start addressing these issues around seller protection. Now, my personal idea is that once you get to a certain point, they should allow you essentially an allowance account. So what is that specifically? banks. At banks, we have allowance for credit losses. That means we know a certain number of loans that we make are going to go bad, and we set aside money to cover those bad losses. eBay should essentially do this with sellers, come out and say, hey, we know that this seller is selling like 5,000 items per month. We should be able to give them like $100 credit for situations where someone sends something back, item not as described, or does the old bait and switch, things like that. I mean, just think about these big sellers that are selling thousands of items per month. They are generating eBay tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and eBay is giving them essentially no sort of no sort of incentive to stay with them. If anyone else gets a site up, gets something up running, and we do see competition in the marketplace already, these bigger sellers are just going to switch to a different platform. eBay seems to be worried more about other platforms, using AI and becoming bigger. But I think that the way that they treat sellers on this platform is something that they really need to start addressing, especially the larger ones. I'm not a large one, but I would say I'm more like mid-size or so, 1,000 items in my store. So it is something that down the road, it's going to continue to hurt them if they just kind of push this to the side and they don't worry about, people turning over or people leaving the platform, sellers. There's been no mention of it. And that's just my thoughts on this conference so far. If you watched it, if there's more information, anything else, definitely comment, let me know. I do think the cost of goods is definitely terrific to get that in there. I don't know that I'm going to go back and backfill all 100 item or 1,000 items in the cost of goods, but I will start doing it. And I guess over time, as I'm able to kind of whittle down to maybe like a couple hundred, then maybe I'll go back and do some estimates because I don't know that I'll be able to remember anything. Anyhow, let me know your thoughts. Appreciate the time.